The M1 Abrams, is it weak at top tier now? With the addition of Leopard 2A4 and Type 90, Abrams seems to be uncompetitive at top tier in some players' perspective. I took my Abrams into top tier, messed around, got a few rounds, got a few kills and died a few times. Well, here's my result. 7 deaths, 15 kills and a win ratio over 50%. Keep in mind that my Abrams is almost stock. I have only unlocked the repair kit, the tracks, and the fire extinguishers. According to my experience, this is still one of the best tanks in the game, even though according to numbers, Abrams got weaker armor, a weaker penetrating gun, weaker penetrating rounds, and it's not the fastest. But what I found is that the Abrams got some advantages which are not in the numbers. Mainly its survivability. The biggest advantage that the Abrams have over the Leopard 2A4s and Type 90s are its ammo storage. You see, Abrams got the biggest safe ammo storage place on its back of the turret. Leopard 2A4s got the same blow-up panels on its back of the turret, but it can only store a limited amount of its ammo needed in a battle, so does the Type 90. But I'm currently carrying 40 rounds and it haven't even filled out the whole of the storage place at the back of its turret, which means that the Abrams runs the lowest risk to suffer death from ammo detonation. Other than its ammo rack, Abrams also got the most sufficient armor placement out of all main battle tanks. This might be debatable, but hear me out. The Abrams may have a weaker turret cheek, but it also got a smaller mantlet. The gun mantlet is a huge weak spot on the Leopard 2A4s and the Type 90s, but on the Abrams the gun mantlet is pretty small, which means that the Abrams gun mantlet is harder to hit. Unlike those two tanks, there are no personnel sitting right behind the gun mantlet, so sometimes when enemy hit my gun mantlet, I suffer no casualties. Now let's move to the chassis. The Abrams frontal upper hull is extremely sloped, which is an auto bounce zone. And its frontal lower plate is flat, but it's got a thick composite armor layer. This feature allows the chassis of the Abrams to have no obvious frontal weak spot. Leopard 2A4s and the Type 90s all got a weak spot on its frontal lower plate, and additional ammo storage place is right behind the weak spot. Also, there are two massive fuel tanks in its chassis which can soak up some rounds occasionally. The gun on the Abrams is not as powerful as those on the Leopard 2A4 or the Type 90, but its top shell can penetrate over 400mm of armor, which made it competitive in top tiers. And the gun got a pretty good magnification, which allowed it to aim for weak spot in front of tanks. Well, not in simulator mode. The Abrams got all three ways of producing smoke in the game, which are by cannon shots, by smoke grenade, and by its engine. The smoke shell from its cannon can be used to blind enemy snipe positions, allows you to maneuver to a more advantageous location. Smoke shells and engine smoke can be used to cover up retreat or repair. The Abrams is still one of the fastest tanks in the game, which often allows you to capture one point before engaging the enemy. And it often takes a lot of rounds to take out the Abrams, which allows the Abrams to gain a lot of spawn points by soaking up those shells. Well, after that, it's time to show the true power of US faction. They are cancerous cast planes. At top tier currently, there should be no doubt that US is the best cast nation. If you don't play Air Force, well, you still got a lot of replacement backup vehicles, such as the MBT-70 XM803 and maybe the M60 A1 RISE-P. So is Abrams still the best tank in the top tier? Well, it's debatable. Can survivability be compared with firepower? It's like comparing apples and oranges. I believe most of the US players who complain still miss the days where Abrams are just fighting Leopard 2Ks and T-64Bs. With the addition of Leopard 2A4s and Type 90s, I felt like the top tier becomes more fair for the other nations' players. Just in the perspective of ground force gameplay, the US players can still win a ground game with its cast planes, Well, that's it for this video. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hopefully, I'll see you next time.